Hello everybody! Today we're going to unpack and take a close-up look at the Patuoxun car jump starter. So let's go ahead and open up the package. So as you can see, the car jump starter comes in a nice nylon carry case. So let's go ahead and open it up. And that's the contents of the case laid out on the inside. And let's go ahead and quickly take a look at each of the items from inside the case. So there is a power adapter here for charging up the car jump starter. So the car jump starter also has an 18,000 milliampere hour power bank battery built inside of it. So that's always good to have in case of emergencies to power up your mobile phones or other devices such as your laptops as well, or air compressors if you're using it for camping. And what we're looking at now here is a lighter socket charger. So once again, same thing. It does have a DC plug or connector to it, so you can charge it in your vehicle. Okay, moving right along, there is a variety of DC connectors or plugs. So we simply remove it and attach it to the cable, I'm sure, which is included in the package, which we'll see in just a few moments. Okay, so as you can see, quite a good variety of DC plugs there to power whatever device or gadget or electronic device that you might have. And over here we do have a micro USB cable. So it is a flat noodle type USB cable. Also, once again, this is used for powering up or charging your mobile device such as your tablet or anything with a micro USB socket or connector. We'll put the manual and paperwork to one side first. Let's just go through the hardware that's in this package. So moving right along, we do have, so there's the power cable here. Obviously one side goes into the car jump starter or power bank, and the other side goes into your device. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that down, and I'll show you how that works in just a moment. And obviously we do have the jumper cables or clips. So we do have the red for positive and black for negative. And just to show you how wide the clips open, I'm pressing down quite hard, so need a bit more exercise, perhaps more meat in my diet. So there we go, so that's about fully opened right there on the alligator clips or clamps. And they do have a smart or intelligent connector. so they can't be inserted the wrong way, can only go in one way, and they have all kinds of surge or circuitry protection in this unit here, so very safe to use, designed for optimal performance. Just to give you a close-up of the details on the smart clips or intelligent cables. Okay, and there is a reset button on it as well, just in case you can't quite get things to work the first time around. So there we go. Smart clips, cables, set it down, and let's just lump the paperwork up there. And of course we do have the, let me just tidy up the items on the right hand side. Okay, and of course we do have the car jump starter itself, the Patuoxun car jump starter. So let me pop it out from its case right there. As you can see, it comes securely packaged with a nice foam surround and a plastic wrapper. Okay, let's set that to one side, and now we can take a close-up look at the car jump starter. So as you can see, it does have a very simple and compact design to it, considering that it is quite feature packed with a torch as well and red hazard light, and of course there is an 18,000 milliampere hour capacity power bank built into it, and there's also a LCD display, so that's really good to see. So at least it can give you some indication of the status of the power bank and car jump starter. So as you can see, size wise, pretty handy, which you can keep in your glove box very easily, unless it's stuffed with lots of unpaid parking bills and old CDs from the 80s and 90s. Okay, so that's the car jump starter. We'll just set it down, and then we can take a close-up look once again, or a much closer look. And now moving right along to finally the paperwork. Okay, so there is a, let me just set that to one side. Obviously you can see the background is starting to get quite busy and slightly distracting. Okay, so here we go. There is a quality check certificate for the car jump starter. Good to see. Let's go ahead and set that down into one side. And then of course there is a user manual as well for the car jump starter with power bank and torch. And it's covered in a few different languages: English, Dutch, Spanish, French, Italian, and Japanese. So quite an international car jump starter here. And just to show you some basic instructions or user info from the user manual, and then flipping right through very quickly. So there we go, very, very simple. Okay, and so that's the user manual. Set that down as well. And lastly, we do have the instruction manual to the jump starter. So what we saw just before was for the battery cable clamps or intelligent clips. So interestingly, this is the instruction manual to the car jump starter. Okay, and looking inside once again, the user manual covers 6 different languages, And I'll just go through a couple of pages. And always make sure you read the user manual before attempting to operate any such device. Okay, so that's all the items laid out on the tabletop right here. So nice, and hopefully gives you some idea of the contents and of course the size of the entire package. So very handy indeed. Okay, and now we can take a close-up look at the car jump starter. And of course, I'll show you the cable very quickly, what we saw earlier, the DC cable. So it is double-ended with the same connectors on both ends. So one end goes into the car jump starter should you need it to power your device. So there is an output socket right there. So basically one side goes in, right in there, and the other side goes into your device. But the whole reason for this cable is so that it can be used with this variety of connectors or plugs. So simply pick the one that you require and then plug it into the other end of the cable, and then you can simply use it to power the specific device with that kind of connector. So nice to see. Good range of connectors as mentioned before earlier, so very handy indeed. Okay, so let's go ahead and unplug that and just do a quick turn on of the car jump starter to see what's what. So let me just move the items right around. Of course, just move that out of the way. So car jump starter has a handy bubble compass right there. Good to know if you are traveling in a remote location. So it's always handy for such emergencies. Okay, and a close-up look at the panel on the side right there to show you what kind of connectors there are. So as we can see, there's an output DC socket, and then there is a button here for voltage switching, and of course there's a small LCD on the left, and then two outlet USB ports, and then an input socket here to charge up the car jump starter / power bank, and then an on-off slider switch, and then an engine start. So that flap there covers the smart clips. So we simply pop it open to reveal the smart clip socket. So the smart clips will only go in one way, so there's no mistaking or error in terms of using the car jump starter. So it is idiot proof in that respect. And just to give you an all-round view of the car jump starter. And let's take a close-up look at the data or print that's over here. So it has some model details and technical specifications. Okay, so now let's go ahead and turn it on by sliding the on-off switch to the left, and you can see the display light up on the left hand side. And if I can get the camcorder to focus right there, it does show the capacity at 96%. So that's very handy to have instead of just simple LEDs, as we've come to know. Okay, so the display has gone. Let's turn it back on by sliding it off and on again, and give you a close-up look right there. And of course, it's showing the voltage and ampere as well. So this car jump starter has a peak cranking amp of 600 amperes. And of course, let's go ahead and just press this voltage switching button. And if you look closely at the bottom row in the display, when I press it, it will toggle from 12 volts to 16 volts, and then 19 volts, and then pressing again clears it. So I'm not quite sure how many volts it's currently at, perhaps 5 volts. But always read the instructions before attempting to operate or use the car jump starter or any similar electronic device. Okay, so that's some basics of the functionality right there. Now let's try and turn the light on. So what I believe is actually operated using the same button by pressing and holding. There we go. And there we have a very bright torch or flashlight shining right in the front there. So it is actually quite bright. I'm surprised by just how bright it is. So as you can see, I'm just shining onto the tabletop right there. So very bright and handy. And there are a few different lighting modes as well. So let's go ahead and see if we can activate the different lighting modes. So I've just pressed and held on the button again, and right now it's in the SOS mode. So you can see it flashing SOS in Morse code. And let's go ahead and press and hold the same button again. And now it's in the strobe mode. So strobe mode to warn others or to get some attention from others. Okay, and let's press and hold it one more time and let's see what that does. Okay, and now we've turned it off completely. And let's double tap and see if we can get that to turn on, and there we have it. The red hazard light now flashes at the side next to the compass. So once again, very deep and rich and red, so good for warning others as well. So you can always set it down in case of vehicle breakdown, just to warn others to get out of the way. Okay, so nice and simple operation there. I'm sure. Let's see if we can turn on the flashlight and the red warning light as well, so we can actually operate both pairs of lights simultaneously. So that's the Patuoxun car jump starter. Thanks for watching and happy starting!